Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 888. So, the first thing to talk about, obviously, is the big reveal that Kuma is more or less back, but he's. But the thing is. But the thing is, and going off what's pretty much happened to Kuma. Happened to Kuma during. After the time skip. Kuma is now nothing but a shell of his former self, and essentially being shared among the world nobles as a slave, which is just one of those things where you feel nothing but where you can't help but pretty much feel at least a little bit of sympathy for him and what he's become. Kuma. Kuma himself, he was always like a very complex character, but at the end of the day, you could tell that whether he was an antagonist or an ally, he definitely had pretty much he had this sense of pretty much honor, and and to see it all like stripped away from him, everything just pretty much from just all the modifications he's had, and the fact that he's nothing but an emotionless machine now, just to see all that everything he basically held dear to him, his honor, his integrity, just everything stripped away from him. It's extremely heartbreaking. It really is. Like he's nothing but pretty much pretty much shell of the former person he once was, and it's just like, yeah, like what more can you say? He's pretty much a broken. He's nothing but a machine. He's nothing but pretty much a machine who's broken down, and pretty much a toy, who's being used as some kind of sick entertainment on as some kind of sick entertainment for for basically the world, for pretty much the world government and the world nobles. Like the world nobles are just treating him like he's a toy or something, which is, that in itself is a whole bit another angering thing, because it's and that's the other thing too about this is that Kuma's current state is pushing forth even more just how unchecked the power of the world nobles is when the world nobles even have the ability to even enslave a warlord. Like the fact that the world nobles are able to do that is kind of frightening. Like the world nobles can pretty much do, or can pretty much do anything, or in this case, I wonder if I think, or in this case, I think Kuma might be the exception, but yeah, either way, it's just kind of scary that it's kind of scary that pretty much the nobles can pretty much can even kind of enslave a can you even kind of enslave a pretty much warlord if they saw fit. So it's, yeah, it's kind of scary. Um, now having having said that, the key thing to take note of, of Kuma's current situation is that Roswell's dialogue about renting Kuma does indicate even if the limits are small, it appears that even the celestial dragons have limits to their power, even if it's just minor things, and from what I can gather, despite Kuma's programming taking full control of him, his position as a warlord, it pretty much does seem to still be intact. So I think I think the fact that the world nobles are renting him as a slave, it means that they can't use pretty much Kuma as pretty much like pretty much a base as basically a complete slave, they're like Roswell said, they're really just only renting him, which which in a sense, which it would make sense too, because if Kuma is still a warlord,
then he is still by all technical definition a warlord. Then obviously he would still need to he would still need to be he would still need to he would still have some kind of need he would still have some kind of like have something in order to offer the Navy too. Like at the end of the day, whether or not Kuma has all has his memories in check or not, he basically is still pretty much a human weapon, and human weapons are going to be needed, but are going to be needed are going to be needed by are going to be needed by the pretty much Navy. So yeah, I think just the fact that Roswell mentioned that they're only renting him out, it it does prove that pretty much Kuma he definitely has at least he definitely has at least the freedom of being a warlord. I think almost as being a warlord, but yeah. So yeah, it's at least it's something small. Um, Also, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've really talked about the pacing about it, but I gotta say the pacing in this episode was weird because in some respects a lot was going on, yet at the same time it felt like nothing really happened at all. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that a good chunk of the episode was really just focused on Sabo running around Marijua and not really doing much. So yeah, it's just another indicator that in terms of that this particular arc was an unfortunate sacrifice for was an unfortunate sacrifice for was an unfortunate sacrifice for in order to make Wano as epic as it's going to be in the anime. Like we're like with even though Toei is cutting corners with this arc, it is kind of at least somewhat worth the sacrifice in order to get in order if the at least the teaser to Wano is any indication. But at the same time, it again, I feel like a broken record when saying this, but it just kind of sucks that the smaller arcs like this end up getting the shaft because these smaller arcs are in some ways almost just as important as the bigger ones, if not more so, because and if not more so, because if there's anything I've learned about these smaller arcs, is that Oda he tends to pack he tends to really work with just that smaller limit of material he's given, and he of with that smaller limit he's given, and he really works with it in order to dive into the lore of the series. So yeah, again, it's just it sucks that much like Zoe that pretty much the lovely arc had to suffer. Um, um, now 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 having said that, the one thing we basically do learn in terms of the Sabo stuff is that the revolutionaries they pretty much on top of declaring war on the world nobles, that they pretty much also have a plan in order to rescue Kuma. But they plan to rescue Kuma and kind of use him in a way in order to expose the government, and I don't know why, but in this episode that it was pretty much made clear that pretty much Kuma is beyond saving. Like even if they rescue him, he's still going to be like pretty much this pretty much emotionless machine. But I don't know. There's kind of a part of me that the fact that Oda has kind of pushed this narrative on more than one occasion of Kuma pretty much now being this like emotionless machine. I'm almost inclined to believe that if however small, I think there is a chance of Kuma returning to from his basically original self. But I don't know, that I could just be getting my hopes up on that, but I don't know, just something about it. It just kind of tells me that there might be a possibility open there. Um, now. Now, aside from that, we also get a pretty big reveal at the end of the episode, which is that Jewelry Bonnie has infiltrated the pretty much Levelly as well, disguised as a participating royal, and Yeah, this is one of those things where it's actually kind of disappointing that this particular arc is about the length of Zoe, because we're basically left with questions like why pretty much Bonnie is here to begin with, and how she even escaped from prison, or even Akainu for that matter. But and we're of course cut, and we're gonna be cut short, and we're gonna be cut short and we're gonna be cut a little short, even without learning any of what's gonna happen in the Lovely, at least for a long while. um but and which kind of makes me wonder, though, if once Wano was over when specifically Oda plans to, and when Oda plans to go back and address the events of the Lovely, and have and I think he's gonna have it be a bit of a concurrent thing. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'm just kind of wondering as to when he's going to address that material as well. I mean, I'm sure one way or another he'll address the events of the Lovely, but it's just a question of once you pretty much hit Wano in the anime, when exactly he's gonna go back and address the stuff in the Lovely after that. Cause yeah, but yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Insta Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.